Welcome to another edition of the Stogie Review video review. And as usual, I am Walt from StogieReview.com. And as usual, here we are for our Monday review. And for review today, I have the E01 Brands 601 Connecticut. Now these cigars come with two wrappers. The Connecticut, which has the golden black band, and it also comes in a Habano wrapper, which is a red and black band. I didn't have much opportunity to do a whole lot of looking around for information on this cigar. What I do know is that this is it's got Nicaraguan fillers and tobacco, Connecticut wrapper, and it's made in the El Rey de los Habanos factory in Nicaragua, and it's blended by Don Pepin Garcia. I just thought I should throw that in there since I'm on a little bit of a Pepin kick. So before I cut and light this cigar, let's go over some of the characteristics. I know sometimes I get ahead of myself, and we don't really get into that until after the cigar's cut or lit. So we'll just go ahead and quick look. The shade of the wrappers is like a golden color, but it's got a green hue to it. It's a little rough looking, some fairly decent sized veins. It's a little rough to the touch, and that's kind of typical of the Connecticut wrappers. If you happen to pick up a lot of Connecticut wrapped cigars, you'll find that it's very common. So it's not a sign that the construction's bad on this particular cigar. The overall feel is it's pretty firm. You see the band's nice and loose on it. It's getting snagged on like a lump in the cigar. It's not glued, so that's always a good sign. It's got a really nice mild aroma to it. Everything looks good on the foot. I'm not looking for anything in particular. Just looking to see that it's uniformly packed. And as all of Pepin cigars, this has a triple cap, which you may or may not be able to see in the camera. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and begin the cutting and lighting process. And as you can hear my Velcro pulling, that's my my polio cutter in its little sleeve here. And as always, I'm going to cut it away from the camera because it's a lot easier for me to see what's going on, and I don't want to. I don't want to try to cut it while I'm holding it really high in the air and potentially damage anything. It's got a really, really easy draw to it. As you can see, I had no problems. It looks a little rough, but that's because I cut it a little crooked. Really nice, loose draw. So far everything's going real well. We're gonna move forward and begin the lighting process. You'll have to bear with me. I know the energy level seems really low. I just had a really long day and I'm exhausted. It's about 10 o'clock, and I can't wait to just get back, mellow everything out, have a cigar, and then just finally relax and go to sleep. Just really looking forward to the nightcap of 601. I can't shoot the video. I can't light without shooting the video. A lot of people like that, and I really appreciate the comments. So I'm gonna just go ahead and keep doing that on camera, just because the comments I received, everyone seems to think it really kind of rounds out the whole review, seeing me lighting and all that. So you really get what you want here at StogieReview.com. Well, as you can see from the thick cloud of smoke, the cigar just really doesn't hold back. It gives you loads and loads of smoke right on the first puff, and it's really crisp. There's no real huge flavors jumping out at me on that first puff. It's just sort of spicy and just nice and full, full-bodied cigar. Everything's going real well so far. Got a nice even burn, real easy draw, lots of a nice good volume of smoke coming in, and nice crisp flavors. So let me just kind of kick back for a few minutes, let me unwind a little bit, get into the cigar, and we'll go from there. And I'm back. As you can see, I've burned into the first half-inch or so of the cigar, and so far, my 601 by EO brands is doing really well. The burn's a little off kilter, but as always, it's nothing I'm really concerned about. Nice light resting smoke. I'm not sure whether you can see that, but got a real nice mild aroma. It's not as pleasant as the Don Pepin Garcia Blue Label, but it's pretty nice mild aroma overall. As you can see, there's lots of smoke coming off the cigar. It's really pleasant. The flavors, wow, it's like a really it's just a hearty, rich tobacco taste with lots of spice behind it, and there's some peppery flavors. You can kind of get them on your lips. Just so far, it's just a bold, full-bodied, full-flavored cigar, and it's got a nice, short, crisp finish. So far, it's it's smoking really well. And the draw is still just as loose as it was when I first lit the cigar, and it's almost borderline too loose. It's just really easy to get air going through that cigar, and I'm just kind of afraid that it's going to get overheated if I'm not really careful because of how easy the draw is. But like I keep saying, so far, it's burning really well, it's smoking really well, and I'm just very happy with it. It's a nice kind of end cap to the night. One thing I didn't mention in the beginning was that this is the Robusto size. It's a 5x50. And I got this at my local cigar shop for right about $7. It's a little more than I usually like to pay per single, but just to keep this Pepin thing going, I wanted to pick them up and try them. And maybe sometime in the near future, I'll also review the 601 Habano, which I do have. I think I have a pair of those. And the only thing I'm pairing it up with tonight is just a cup of Earl Grey tea. And I mentioned in the Q&A segment that my fiance got me this canister of Earl Grey tea because she knew I liked Earl Grey tea, and she didn't realize that they're two different brands of tea. But actually they taste very similar. I don't know whether the Earl Grey is just a play on words to try to get you to buy the Bigelow, to make you think that you're buying tea from Bigelow Tea Company, but you're actually not. It's Bigelow Tea Company's in Connecticut, I believe, and it's the tea bags come out of Connecticut, where the Earl Grey tea bags come out of California. So, and it's going really well with the cigar. Usually I would have a beer right about now, but I just want to kind of unwind and relax, and a beer's just not, I just don't feel like a beer right now, so I figured I'd give tea a shot, since it usually performs very well with cigars. It's a lot like coffee. It just goes really well with a good cigar. Also, during that Q&A segment, the Your Questions, My Answers with that I did with Jerry over the weekend, we mentioned that Cigarmany.com is sponsoring a contest. And I didn't happen to have my cigar dossier with me at the time, so I just wanted to show you that now. And as you can see, it's a hardbound book. It's basically a cigar diary. It's in a real elegant format. To win it, just use the questions, the contact form. Wow, I'm all out of the loop. the StuggyReview.com contact form and submit a cigar review. Doesn't matter what cigar you review, but you must submit a review. You can't send in just a contact form that says, "Hey, I'm entering the contest," because we're just going to have to toss your entry. I apologize ahead of time, but we thought that sending in a cigar review to win a cigar diary would be, perfect for a chance to win this. So just send us in a cigar review. It's got to be broken into thirds. We'd prefer it that way. We're not asking you to write a novel, just a couple sentences, describe the first third, second third, and final third, and that will get you entered to win the cigar dossier. And just to give you an insider's look, this is deep in the book, and I can't see the camera, but I'm sure you can get a decent view of, the breakdown. It's got a place for your bands over here. Comments on the cigar, where purchased, price, box or individual, time smoked, date, rating, last meal eaten, the wrapper, size, brand, and it's just a very good format. And I use mine for special occasion cigars, and I'll just show you one page that is filled out, and that's this page. So I really like it, and I really think that if you're serious into cigars, that this will be a great companion to your already enjoyable hobby of smoking cigars. So, with that said, I'm going to take a quick break, smoke a little bit more of my 601 by EO brands, and be back in a short while. And we're back again. And as you can see, I'm about halfway, maybe a little bit beyond that, and so far, the cigar's been very consistent with just some minor changes. The body's still full, the finish is still real crisp and just real clean tasting. The flavor is it tastes a lot like cedar, but I'm starting to get like a little sweetness, almost like a fruity flavor in there. It's kind of mild, and it's a nice change of pace. It just blends well with that kind of woody base and that that heavy that heavy full-bodied flavor that's just real crisp. So everything kind of blends together and mixes real well. And so far, it's just smoking real well. The draw is still real loose, and like I was worried about before about overdrawing a little bit and getting things a little too hot, I'm experiencing that a little bit. I have to force myself to smoke even slower than I usually do, just because I don't want to overheat the cigar and start tainting the flavors. And that's a real problem sometimes. If you overheat the tobacco or like hot box it, it'll just turn foul and it'll start producing just flavors that just really aren't enjoyable. It's still got a nice spice when you pull it through your sinuses, or I should say push it through your sinuses after you take a puff. It's got a real nice sharp spiciness to it. And so far, it's been really enjoyable. And now, from what I'm told, I haven't had the 601 Habano yet, but from what I hear, the 601 Habano is actually a more mild cigar than the 601 Connecticut. So it's actually a little backwards from what I would typically normally think, just because of it's just that stereotypical thing. I see a light wrapper and I think, that's got the potential to be a real mild cigar, and that's really not the case in this instance. So I'm really trying to break myself of that habit. That was something I picked up when I first started smoking cigars. Because every Maduro that I smoked was just really heavy and it was too much for me when I was first getting into cigars, so I just naturally associated darkness with strength, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It's that's just completely opposite in a lot of cases. I smoked some really dark cigars that were really mild, and this is an example of a nice light cigar that is not mild. It's it's really it's full bodied and just really spicy and enjoyable. And I just wanted to take a minute to touch base on some other things. Next week, as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing the Camacho Liberty, which was graciously sent to me by Steven, who's a regular contributor at StuggyReview.com. he posts comments, and really appreciate that. And I keep thanking him every video because I'm really looking forward to smoking that cigar. And that actually will not be on Monday. That will be on Friday. Jerry and I had spoke, and he wants to switch up with me just this week. He needs me to fill in for him on Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Camacho Liberty on Friday. He will take my Monday review, and he will also do that Friday's review. So I've got 2 this week. Jerry's got 2 next week. So just keep an eye out for that. And after the Camacho Liberty, things are kind of up in the air. I'm really not sure what I want to smoke. I have a couple of 601 Habanos that I would like to get into, but I'm not real sure about that. I've also got a laundry list of recommendations that I really am trying to get to locally go find and pick up so that I can review, and I really don't want to push them back too far, but it's a situation where I got to go out and I got to pick up the cigars. So, if you made a recommendation, chances are I've told you I'll smoke it, and I'll hold true to my word. I will smoke that cigar. I just can't promise that it's going to be like next week or the week after. It may be a few weeks until I can get to it. So for that, I apologize. And to stay with this Pepin thing I've been on, I was reading the Wikipedia article on Don Pepin Garcia, and he has some blends that he does for other people, like, for instance, the 601. He does the 601 blend for EO brands. So, that's one example. He also does a couple of house brands, and that's what I was thinking about doing next. But I'm really torn on the idea. I don't know if I actually want to do this review or not, because you may not be able to get the cigar, and I'd hate to do a review on a cigar that you, the viewer, just couldn't purchase. So, and that particular cigar I have with me here is the Top Shelf Signature Series, and it's got the J. Cronin signature on the band. And the significance there is that Jim Cronin owns a cigar shop in Skippack, Pennsylvania. It's not too far from me. Actually, I was there for the first time today and loved it. From the street, it doesn't look like a very big store when you go inside. It's just real cozy, and the guy behind the counter was just real nice. I really like that cigar shop. But before I do this review, I want to contact Mr. Cronin and, for one, find out if you can purchase these online, because Top Shelf Cigars do have a website. I'm just not sure if they will ship you cigars, and if they will ship you cigars, then I'll definitely do the review on this. But until then, it's kind of in limbo. I want to get some information on the cigar so I can provide you with that, and I want to double check and make sure that everyone else can get the cigar, because like I said, it's no fun to do a review when no one else can get the cigar if I can just get it locally. So that all depends on how my conversation goes with Jim. So anyway, I'm gonna come back one more time. Give me a little bit just to wrap things up, and then we'll do an overview as always, and I'll let you get out of here. And I'm back. As you can see, I'm getting pretty short. I'm going to be smoking this down a little bit further. Just popped the band off a few minutes ago. It's very consistent. That little bit of a fruity flavor that I mentioned in the last segment, that's faded, and you almost get a little bit of a sort of a buttery flavor, with the base flavor being woody, more like a cedary flavor, and the body's still in the full range, and finish is just real crisp and clean, and that's kind of odd. A lot of times I associate a dryness with Connecticut wrappers, and after smoking some of these I guess I would, more like higher end Connecticut wrapped cigars, I'm beginning to think that I might be wrong with that dryness I associate with a Connecticut wrapper. I think it might be more in the blend to coincide with that Connecticut wrapper that's unappealing to me, because this one is just the slightest bit dry. It's not overwhelming. It's not causing me any troubles. I don't. it's not distracting me like a lot of the other Connecticut wrap cigars that I smoke. So it's really making me think about, you know, how I originally felt about Connecticut wrappers. But you know, I just can't say enough. The cigar smoking really well. The only downside to the cigar is it's getting really hot because of that nice, well, in this case it's not really nice, but it's just a really, really loose draw, and it just seems to be overheating the cigar a little bit. And I didn't have that with the first one I smoked. This is the second. I have one more to smoke, and I'll smoke that before I do the written review, just so I can get a baseline and be sure that you know, it doesn't have an overly loose draw, and the first one I had a nice draw. You know, it just helps me kind of average everything out. So that's the plan. I'm going to smoke one more, do the written review, and then kind of just wrap it up and make a decision whether or not it's a loose draw or you know, a nice average draw. Still producing lots of volume as far as the smoke is concerned, and the resting smoke's picked up a little bit. There's some more of it coming off the cigar. It's still got a nice mild aroma. It's, like I said before, it's not as mild and as just perfect as the Don Pepin Blue Label, but it does smell pretty good. And just my overall feelings is this cigar is really consistent, and it was a real nice way to just round out my night. The little bit of flavor changes that I were getting, it's not major swings. It's more like subtleties that are more complex and more enjoyable. And that's not to say that the novice cigar smoker or the new cigar smoker won't be able to enjoy the cigar. I think that you will be able to enjoy the cigar. You just may not get some of the little subtleties that I've been getting throughout the stick. Now, like I mentioned before, the price point's about $7, and I think that's a pretty good price point. I don't think it's too much, and I don't think it's a bargain either. But overall, I'm very happy with this cigar, and definitely recommend picking one up if you have the opportunity. So there you have it. Before I get out of here, just want to mention again that we have a contest sponsored by Cigar Me for the Cigar Dossier. Head on over to the contact form if you're watching this on YouTube. That is www.stogiereview.com. Click on the contact link on the top. It'll bring up a form. Just fill that out with a quick cigar review. Enter it, and you will be entered to win your very own cigar journal, which was very graciously provided by Mark Neff over at cigarme.com. So don't forget to do that. You've got 2 weeks. Again, we're going to announce the winner in 2 weeks on the next Your Questions My Answer segment, and next weekend we're going to try to get Mark on, give you some tips on reviewing cigars. So you know, that ought to be pretty interesting. So that's about it. Again, I've got the Camacho Liberty coming up on Friday, and the following Friday I'm still kind of up in the air. Like I mentioned, I'm not really sure what direction I'm going to go, but you know, I'll let you know more on Friday as to what cigar I'm smoking the following week. So, as always, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on Friday.